Superman Tower of Power at Six Flags St. Louis is a second-generation Intamin drop tower. This ride started at the former Six Flags Astroworld before coming to Six Flags St. Louis in 2006, but it may have given its final ride in 2020. In this video, I will discuss why Superman Tower of Power may be removed and share my review on this drop tower. Last October, Six Flags shared that they were removing 15 rides from the chain to reduce maintenance costs and free up significant CapEx resources. A few rides have been confirmed thus far, such as Tumbleweed at Frontier City, but the biggest and best attraction that is currently rumored to be on the way out is Superman Tower of Power at Six Flags St. Louis. Two rides were recently removed from the St. Louis Parks website: the Moon Antique Cars and Superman Tower of Power. While this alone does not confirm these rides are being removed, rides have disappeared from the Six Flags websites in the past by mistake. The timing is quite suspicious. This is especially true since Superman was rumored to be one of the most likely ride removal candidates in the entire chain. This drop tower originally opened at Six Flags Astroworld in Houston, Texas in 1997. Named Dungeon Drop, this is one of the final attractions added to Astroworld. Placed in the Nottingham Village section of the park, this drop tower had a medieval theme, and the queue line took place through, you guessed it, a dungeon. The ride stood 230 feet, or 70 meters tall, and it operated at Astroworld until the park closed after the 2005 season. At that point, the ride was relocated to Six Flags St. Louis. This park in Eureka, Missouri was one of the few Six Flags parks without a drop tower, so it was a perfect fit. Originally, the ride was to be named Acrophobia at its new home, just like the drop tower at the Georgia park. The ride was going to have an orange, green, and teal paint scheme. However, then CEO Mark Shapiro ordered the attraction to be themed as Superman to utilize the company's DC license. The ride received some cardboard cutouts in the queue line and was painted red, blue, and yellow to match the Man of Steel. Superman is a second-generation Intamin drop tower. The first-generation drop towers debuted in 1982. These drop towers had an L shape, and some consider them roller coasters. Carriages were lifted up a 131-foot or 40-meter tall elevator shaft, then moved forwards into a drop shaft, and plummeted, ending up on their back. The carriages were then moved backwards into the station. 15 in total were built. Today, only one remains in America in Demon Drop at Dorney Park, but 3 remain in Japan and 1 in Italy. Intamin later debuted the second-generation drop tower. This would consist of a single tower that would lift multiple carriages atop a tower and then drop them, smoothly slowing the vehicles down at the last second with magnetic brakes. Many parks added these towers in the mid to late 1990s. This model and the ones offered by S&S often replaced first-generation towers. They were smoother, more compact, and could be made taller. In recent years, many of the second-generation towers have operated less than full capacity. Each carriage can operate independently, and it is exceedingly rare to find a park with every side operable. Maintenance issues are ultimately why Kennywood would remove their popular Pitfall drop tower after the 2011 season. In both my 2018 and 2020 visits, Six Flags St. Louis's Superman was only operating at half capacity. Only 3 of the 6 carriages were available. I think this ride's maintenance issues and subsequent low capacity are the primary reasons why it is likely being removed. The ride could then become a part donor for the other 2 Intamin second-generation drop towers in the Six Flags chain, such as Voodoo Drop at Six Flags America and Giant Drop at Six Flags Great America. And while this one operated with a perfect safety record, a ride with the same name and same ride model had a tragic accident at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom in 2007. This accident occurred 14 years ago, so I doubt this is a main reason why St. Louis is removing their drop tower, but it could have been a contributing factor considering the history of the model in the chain. Six Flags St. Louis placed Superman Tower of Power in the very back of the park, atop a hill. And I love this placement. The elevation change from the front of the park to the top of this hill is roughly 92 feet or 28 meters according to Google Earth. So when you added the additional 230 feet or 70-meter height of this attraction, Superman looked colossal. It stood roughly 322 feet or 98 meters above the main entrance. This made it one of the park's icons and taller than even some Giga coasters. The only possible downside with this ride's placement is that I suspect it caused Screamin' Eagle's entrance to be moved. Screamin' Eagle's entrance is currently in a bizarre and convoluted location at the end of a midway of games. I haven't been able to confirm if this is true in photos, but I would love if a local could confirm if this theory is true. Six Flags St. Louis has never been busy in the days I've visited, so this ride's queue usually isn't more than 15 minutes. But the ride still had a putrid capacity of just 12 riders per cycle, since it was often running at half capacity. The carriages not in use sat idle atop the tower. With this drop tower, it was critical to get the side overlooking the hill for several reasons. Not only did you get the added height, but you were also overlooking the entire park. If you were placed on the opposite side of the attraction, you would only get a view of Screamin' Eagle and a bunch of trees, along with the reduced height, especially since the hill continued going up. The park often assigned you to a specific carriage, but they would allow you to wait an extra cycle for a specific side. And trust me, it was well worth it. Superman had the standard second generation Intamin restraints. It was a snug over-the-shoulder harness with a redundant seatbelt. The seats aren't very comfortable since they aren't molded, but it wasn't a major issue for such a short ride. Superman began by lifting the operating carriages atop the 230-foot tower. The initial ascent is slow, but it becomes quite brisk once you clear the magnetic brakes. You ascend at speeds approaching 12 miles per hour or 19 kilometers per hour. You slowed down as you reached the top, and then stopped for a few seconds to take in the view. And this view was one of my favorites on any drop tower, if you were on the side overlooking the hill. After a few seconds, you would drop. Each carriage would drop in a random order, so there was no warning for the first carriage to fall. But the other sides would have a split second to realize their drop was imminent when they heard the screams of the other carriage. The best ride was when your side dropped first, so you didn't have that extra warning when you'd be released. The drop packed a punch. I would float the whole way down and get a nice stomach dropping sensation. These second generation Intamin drop towers have some of the best drops out there. I prefer the power of the armed Larson towers, but the Intamin ones are in the next tier. They are head and shoulders better than the S&S drop towers you often find. So what would I rate Superman Tower of Power? I would give this drop tower an 8.5 out of 10, as long as you were on the side overlooking the hill. It probably went down a half or full point on the other sides. Superman just barely missed my list for my top 25 favorite drop towers. The impressive view combined with a solid drop made it one of the best of the genre. It was easily my favorite non-coaster at Six Flags St. Louis, and I preferred it over several of their roller coasters as well. I would always make sure to ride this attraction several times each visit. Superman will definitely be missed if it indeed is being removed, but it seems likely based on the ride's maintenance issues and removal from the website. But those are my thoughts on this Intamin drop tower. Have you ridden this Superman? What are your thoughts on this ride, either the experience or the ride's removal? I would love to hear what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you gave it a like and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.